Here we are for this week's edition of Backpage Blues. We're not standing by the edge because it is really blustery. Despite being glorious in central London, it's incredibly windy, and I was worried about my hair. So we're going to do it from here.
As always.
I'm joined by Charlie the Hurricane Skillen from the Mail Online. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very well. Slickback, you all right?
Very well, thank you. First things first, I have some what I consider to be very good news. Raheem Sterling is probably going to leave Liverpool. They're not going to qualify for the Champions League, and I'm hearing that we are the front runner for him. Please tell me this is true.
I wouldn't say Chelsea are the front runners for him, but you know, it wouldn't shock me to see him in a blue shirt at the end of the transfer window. I think it's very conceivable that Sterling will leave Liverpool this summer. You know, he is a Champions League player. Liverpool, will not be a Champions League club next season. That is confirmed now. We actually reported yesterday that he's sold his house in Merseyside and he's house hunting in London, which is very interesting.
So that would mean it can only really mean Chelsea or Arsenal.
Well, yeah,
he could be buying a house in London for any number of reasons, of course. Yeah. So he's a London boy, from Stonebridge.
Yeah.
But we can sort of read in between the lines. It would suggest that he's thinking of signing for a London club to be buying a house in London.
Yeah, his whole family's from London, as you say, so that would make sense.
St. Raf's estate, I believe.
True. You know better than me. Like you say, it will be Arsenal, Chelsea, if it is a London club. Unfortunately, I'd veer towards him signing for Arsenal just because I think they're kind of more interested in him than we are. But he's certainly a player that I'd like to see at Chelsea.
I'd love to see him. Guys, what do you think? This is one that I'm really interested to hear other Chelsea fans' opinions on, because my friends a lot of people who I go to the games with, are quite anti this move. I personally think he is a fantastic talent and could be a massive player for Chelsea and England for the next decade. But what do you think? A player you would like to see in a blue shirt? Please comment below and let us know. I'd be keen, but like you say, Arsenal were probably the front runners, sadly. So if that move isn't going to come off, I imagine we have a plan B?
Well, there's a number of plan Bs throughout the whole squad. Interestingly, Atletico Madrid is a club that we've bought from before. We've got a good relationship with them, and we're actually interested in a triple swoop for some of their players.
A triple swoop for Atletico? God, that could be good.
Lovely bit of tabloid language.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Number one target is Griezmann, their French international striker.
Yeah, very good player.
He is. He's been one of the outstanding performers in La Liga this season. Unfortunately, he's going to come with a £43 million release clause. Atletico are not going to take a penny less. So,
but that's not an extortionate sum for a player of his calibre, is it?
No, and also he's very young. The other two players Chelsea will be looking at from Atletico are Koke, who we've spoken about before.
Superb, yeah.
Who's kind of a similar player to Oscar. Especially if Oscar leaves, that's the sort of player that we'd be looking at. And also one we haven't spoken about before, but is well known to Chelsea fans because we played them in the semi-final last year in the Champions League. Koke Godin.
Oh David Luiz lookalike.
Yeah, he's a centre half.
Another very good player.
He wouldn't be one for the future, but one's coming right now because he's 29. But if you can see a situation where Cahill might leave or something, and we just need to kind of
fill the gap,
bridge the gap between maybe Terry retiring and someone like Zuma becoming the main defender, then he might be a good signing as well.
Okay, that's not a move that I'm naturally in support of, actually. Although I've given Gary Cahill a bit of a rough ride through, particularly the winter months here, I think that he's really cleaned his act up. I think he's been a great player. I think it would be silly to replace him like for like. Yeah,
but Godin has been one of the best centre defenders in Europe over the last couple of years. I agree with what you're saying about Cahill. I think especially since Chelsea went more defensive, Cahill has been absolutely excellent. But I think if we want to recreate that kind of attacking play that we had in the first half of the season, possibly Cahill's not the answer. Yeah. But Godin is a very similar style of defender, so it's an interesting one. I don't think he's Chelsea's top target, but it's definitely one of the Atletico players we're looking at.
Okay, that's good to know. I have a slight issue with everything that you may be saying.
What's that?
A while ago on this show, we discussed Muto. Yeah, a guy who plays for, I thought he was signing for Chelsea when we made the deal with Yokohama Rubber. He was going to sign for us from Tokyo, and we were celebrating that fact.
Well, sort
of. It's now off and he's signed for somebody in Germany.
Yeah, Mainz. Do you know what?
Top German team.
You know what? I think fair play to him.
He wants to play first team football.
Yeah, I think you don't have to be that cynical to think that deal was very much on the back of a shirt sponsorship, which isn't kind of the way that we want to see players brought to the club. And he's actually said in a Japanese media today that he'd prefer to play first team football. And I think even, you know, it was a thing to bring a lot of Asian fans on side, but I think even there was quotes from an Asian kind of business leader talking about the different sponsorships, Samsung and Yokohama, and he didn't think the Muto deal was a good idea. So I think it might be best for all parties that he goes to Mainz instead of Chelsea, where, you know, let's face it,
he's going to struggle to get in. And if he happens to go to Mainz and ends up pinging in 30 goals a season for the next 2 years, then it's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. He could come on over.
Right, something as an issue, last quickly before we go to our question and answer session, Charlie. An issue very close to my heart.
Yeah.
The issue is Petr Cech. Yes,
I mean we've spoken about this quite a lot on the show, naturally, because he's a player that everyone loves, absolute Chelsea legend. It's more good news. Well, not quite good news in that he won't be staying, but it's more good news in the fact that, you know, doesn't look like he's going to be signing for another English club. Mourinho's already said that, you know, there's no way he'd let him sign for Arsenal.
And he doesn't have it in him. He's too loyal to Chelsea.
Yeah.
Definitely.
His agent came out today. We reported this today, and said that Besiktas actually is the latest club that's in for him. Obviously, every decision around Cech is
linking up with his Denmark.
Yeah, exactly. Every decision around Cech is going to be made at the end of the season, but Besiktas are the latest club to be linked with him. So
will somebody be coming in to plug the gap if he leaves? Or?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You know, it's well documented that Chelsea will be looking to sign a reserve keeper. You know, very much Courtois at the
helm. So someone like Rob Green.
Someone like Rob Green, John Ruddy. You know, we've spoken about the.
I hope it's John Ruddy. I hope it's John Ruddy purely for the song. We can imagine what we could sing for him. Do you remember We're Up All Night for the Sun? You could give it that.
Yeah.
We're Up All Night for John Ruddy.
So, well, let's hope he gets lucky and gets a Chelsea deal.
Brilliant. Thanks for watching. Make sure you comment, let us know your thoughts below, and we will be answering your questions now on part 2 of Backpage Blues.